Welcome back to another explanatory video, and in this video we're going to be discussing Better My Heart Represents God, which is also called the Holy Sonnet 14. It has 14 lines as a sonnet. The central idea of the poem revolves around the divine love of God. The dictionary meaning of battering means to beat up. Battering is a violent word. So better my heart means to beat my heart, to be violent with my heart. Unlike the general idea of love being kind, gentle, and handling with care and affection, the speaker in the poem urges God to show his divine love through violent, hurtful, torturing, and inflicting pain. God's love is metaphorically compared to the rough handling of a captive or a prisoner. As written in the Bible, God is the potter and the speaker is the clay, because the speaker asks God to work on him by breaking him, molding him, and controlling him in the process of creating him into a new creation. The poem is contradictory to the stereotypical belief that God's love would be compassionate, full of patience and peace. But John Donne, being the father of the metaphysical poets, compares God's love for his child to a violent captor's forceful way of disciplining his captive or prisoner. The words in the poem that indicate violence are batter, overthrow, force, break, blow, burn, usurp'd down, capture, divorce, imprison, enthrall, and ravage. The speaker is compared to a fallen man, a sinner married to the devil or the world. He prays that God would forcefully break the marriage by kidnapping him and divorcing him from the devil and making him his own captive. He uses conceit to compare faith to imprisonment, spiritual death to marriage to the devil or the world. He also uses antithesis at the concluding lines that says, "If you do not imprison and enslave me, I will never be free. And if you do not rape and defile me, I will never be chaste or clean or pure." Here the antithesis lies in the use of the words imprison and enslave to be free, and rape and defile to become clean and chaste. In the poem, the speaker prays to the Holy Trinity to hit or strike or beat up his heart, because in the past God had only gently knocked on his heart through his conscience, breathed upon his soul, and shined on him, which are very gentle ways of persuading the speaker. The speaker feels that the gentle ways of God is not effective on him. The gentle means that God used were not effective. He still feels the emptiness inside him, and the temptation of the world was far too strong for him to fight or overthrow on his own, to overcome on his own. It was not possible. Thus he prays that God would resort to violence and force to keep his soul. He is willing if God would use force to keep him and violence to keep him, but he is not willing that God would ever leave him. In order to become a better man of faith, the speaker is ready and willing to suffer in Christ. He is willing to bear the torture that God would inflict on him to change him. He asks God to take away his selfish power and discipline him by breaking and burning him into a new and pure creation. He wants to suffer the punishments and the pain that God can put him through to bring him to his knees and make him a humble servant of God. The speaker feels that because of his sins, he feels like an usurped town, a town illegally encroached or captured by enemies. Here in this sense, he is like an usurped town, a town that have been captured by the devil, encroached by the power of the devil. The speaker and his life is enslaved and conquered by sin and devil. But the speaker wants to belong to God, and he is desperate to belong to God. He wants to be righteous. The speaker also says that he tries his best to stick to his faith and be a follower of God, living a godly life. But he feels weak and powerless. In the core of his heart, he wants God to be his master. It is his deepest desire to be controlled by God. But he is easily tempted, easily drifted away towards worldly pleasures. And he confesses his love and adoration for God, though he is married to God's enemy, though he is married to the devil, to the ways of the world. So he prays that God would divorce him from the devil and break the marriage knot between sin and him, between the devil and him. He prays that God would untie the knot of marriage because the speaker himself is powerless, and that God would take him as his own prisoner. He concludes saying that he would never be free unless God enslaves him, and that he would never be clean unless God defiles him. There was a short explanation of Better My Heart 3% God by Donne. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.